he's super smart. He always do that. Because a lot of times he's the back line, so he can see how, the guards are playing the guards or how the bigs are helping us on the screens and stuff like that. So, he's super vocal.
Are you tired of talking about your shot?
I'm not tired of it, but I'm ready to get going on to that next one, for real.
What has the last 24 hours been like for you? Where you're on ESPN one day, and we're 1 minute, and you're every time you refresh your phone, there's a new montage of your shot.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's everywhere, obviously, so it's no getting away from it. But you just gotta enjoy the moment. Obviously, this is March Madness. That was a crazy experience. So we just gotta enjoy it. But now we're going on to Iowa State, so gotta be prepared and ready to go.
I went to another school, and that's kind of like the coach that you've had at your main time.
I support Coach Pope as well, but I'll probably still say Kentucky too.
When Pope recruited you out of Oklahoma, did we talk? Like, he talked about the possibility of you being a superstar and being the face of the program and all that. Like, did he have that belief in you from day one that this would be a reality for you?
I mean, he had the belief to recruit me and bring me onto the team, but he ain't promised me nothing. I remember that super vividly, and that's something that sticks out because you're in the portal. Coaches, they're gonna promise you this, promise you that, and you can't always believe it. But he said he's not gonna promise me nothing. I'm gonna have to come to work, and that's what it was.
What was his pitch to you on role and what he thought that you would fit in and kind of what you became?
The biggest pitch was that you just want to come to Kentucky, and it's the mecca of college basketball. So you perform here, you're gonna be remembered forever. You're gonna put yourself in a position to reach your dreams. So that was the biggest thing. It was just me wanting to play here and do great things so that I could set my future up and do great things here.
Has it lived up to the hype?
It has. Yeah, it's beat the hype for sure. It's been crazy.
Talking about that, people all over the country are going to be talking about the Oweh shot. They're going to remember this decades and decades from now. Has that hit you yet that you are, I think the announcer said Oweh has etched his name into March Madness lore, that you're going to see that shot, your kids are going to see that shot, your grandkids are going to see that shot?
Yeah, it hasn't hit me yet because I'm still in the moment. So it's gonna be more like once everything's done, I'm gonna put myself out and obviously reflect. But it's crazy. Obviously, you gotta be present and enjoy it. But I'm excited to get on to the next game.
How's it feel to be in like a conversation with a guy like Larry Bird, who's like one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball?
It's a blessing. Just gotta thank God that he gave me the strength to go out there and perform. But it's insane. It really is. I can't believe it.
This game of college basketball, you see a lot of people taking threes, but your game is pretty paint focused and taking those mid-range jumpers. Do you remember a time where you're like, I'm going to really hone in on this and like make this my game?
Yeah, when I was in high school, my trainer, EMB, he used to always tell me, he was like, you get to the paint so well, you got to get a mid-range game. Because teams gonna start playing you going to the paint, so you just gotta stop and pop. So we was always working on that since high school. I feel like that's always been like my bread and butter a little bit, something to lean on. So yeah, it's just just trying to score at all three levels.
Being a senior, how much does that this could be my last game type of thing, flood in your head? Do you even think about that, while you're playing right now?
While I'm playing, I don't really think about it, but before the game, for sure. Yeah.
You have experience playing Iowa State. Just what do you remember from those previous matchups, and what do you kind of is different going into this next one?
How physical they are. That's what I remember, and it's gonna be different now because I've been SEC for 2 years, obviously. So, but I just remember how physical they are, and the intensity they play with.
When there's Jefferson being as good as he is and as talented as he is, and obviously changes the game. How do you approach that, knowing that it's two totally different teams with or without him?
They're still good with him or without him. So we still got to prepare the same way. Can't take our feet off the gas just because one of their best players aren't playing. Everyone's game elevates. When the team needs you to step up. So they probably have someone on the bench that's ready to play. So we just got to be ready to go.
Outside of Jefferson, just what stands out about this team in terms of individual players?
Number 22. Dead-eye shooter, obviously, so we gotta find him at all costs. And then their point guard is a really good point guard defensively. and then he's the head of the snake. Really, he's gonna facilitate, guard, score. So we just gotta lock in on him too.
Thank you, man.
Just play our game and not try to get too down. You know what I'm saying? Try to go up as many points as we can, and we just gotta play our game, protect the ball, rebound, and guard the three. So those are the things that's gonna help us tomorrow.
Does Iowa State remind you of any team you've played so far this year?
Florida a little bit. They got shooting wings, big wings that could shoot and get to the basket. They're their own team. They got their own players, so yeah, that's all I can say about that.
Thank you.
How many times as you guys as a team have you watched her take a shot?
I watched it a lot of times. I watched it probably like 20, 30 times already. Every time I watch it, I still get chills about it. So, it's amazing. It's an amazing moment.
How do you make sure his head doesn't get too big, knowing that he's like the biggest superstar of March Madness right now?
Just humbling him. You know what I'm saying? Just telling him that we got bigger fish to fry. We just got to move on to the next moment. But it's a moment no one's ever gonna forget. So, we just try to enjoy it in the moment. But we gotta worry about tomorrow.
Where does that one stack up among all your March Madness moments that you've been a part of?
It's number one for sure. My drilling never felt like that March. That's number one moment for me.
Do you guys feel like you're playing with the chip on your shoulder?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I just seen it yesterday. Like, right when you thought the game was over, we pulled something amazing off. So we still feel like we got a lot to prove. So we just gonna stay grounded and play our hearts out.
Where does that resolve come from?
What is it?
To just be resilient.
Like we at Kentucky, it's an expectation every game we play, and we always had the goal of winning since we came here. So just thinking of that every chance we get, that we got to win, and we must win, find a way to win, and we've been good at finding ways to win. So that's where it comes from.
You mentioned a few minutes ago that Iowa State's got a guy who's shooting nearly 50% from three. I'm talking about being alert to make sure that he doesn't get as many opportunities to score. What goes into that when an opposing team has such a prolific three-point shooter? What's the biggest things that you guys look for in the scout?
Communicating, ball screens, being physical on ball screens, blowing up staggers, DHOs, and being alert of the shooters at all times. Knowing who you can help off and who you can't help off, just you got to just keep an eye on shooters all the time in the game, like, and just play with IQ, that's what I think it is.
And then after just watching the film, you don't want to leave it up to kind of a Hail Mary moment that doesn't often happen twice in March. What are some of the things you saw that you said we can't let that happen again in order to come out with a win?
I mean, I feel like they were part of the games when we just there's a quote: never get too high, never get too low. And I think when we go at we have a 5-0, 7-0 run and go with 7-8 point difference, we go too high, we get too comfortable, we start making some unexperienced childish plays, and they cut their lead back to back to tie game, and that's what we don't need to do when we get in the lead and have 7-8 point difference. We need to keep going and make it even more point difference, so the teams can come back to us, and so we don't have like you said, Hail Mary situations like yesterday.
They lost their star, obviously Jefferson. We don't know if he's going to play or not, but how much of an impact does that have possibly on this game tomorrow?
I mean, you never want to see a player get injured, so quick recovery to him, but we're preparing like he's playing. He's obviously one of their, if not the best player, one of the best players in the country, and it will affect their team, of course. But I think just some other guys will step out. They will have those opportunities he's having while he's playing. So they'll be just as dangerous as he is, and we need to be even more focused, no matter if he's in or out.
Yeah, beyond Jefferson, I mean, what makes this Iowa State team a tough team, and how do you feel like you guys can match up against them?
I feel like their team is feel good on every position. They have a good shooters, good playmakers, good bigs, and aside from that, they're really physical. They always protect the paint, bring two guys to the ball always. So we'll need to take care of the ball and make early passes to our teammates. And I think if we can do that, we will definitely have a lot of open shots. And if we knock them down, we have a very good shot of winning.
Oweh was talking about having to go from that emotional high to transitioning and making this now business once again. How do you guys do that mentally, going from what was an incredible high to now having to lock in tomorrow?
It was definitely a legendary moment yesterday, but of course everyone here knows, as like Oweh says, it's business tomorrow, because if we can't deliver the win tomorrow, that legendary moment is just will be in vain.
Do you feel like Oweh has stepped up as the leader of this team, and in what ways do you feel like he really has maybe made that stride?
I feel like he didn't step up. He was the leader of this team from the beginning, the best player of this team last year, the best player of this team this year, and from the very start we come here, we knew that, and he just he was the guy that steps up in the big moments, and I can admit that he's doing it on the highest level possible. He's always there when we need him, so very big shout out to Oweh, of course.
To be able to see how his leadership has kind of started to become the knowledge amongst March Madness fans and everything, is that something that's been deserved in your opinion, that now people are realizing the impact he's had on this team?
100% deserved. I think this game-tying shot yesterday, and of course the big performance, was just maybe the eye-opening for someone that he's the guy he is, but he's making those plays constantly this whole season and even the previous season. So it's just the cherry on top, that moment yesterday, but he's been that guy the whole season.
You were talking about Iowa State a second ago, and they've got a guy in Momcelovic, I think I'm saying his name right, who shoots 50% from three, starts every game, plays a ton of minutes. What have you guys seen from him on the scout? And when you're going up against a guy who shoots a ton of threes and makes a lot, what are the biggest defensive keys to limiting his success?
Yeah, definitely crazy shooter. I mean, you will have to basically have a guy focus on him the whole game. We will be exchanging on him, but he's obviously going to take some shots. He's going to obviously take some threes, but the goal is to make those threes as hard as it gets and as contested it gets, and make him drive, make him do something else other than shooting.
I know you guys made a change in your ball screen defense, I think midway through the second half yesterday, and had success with that. I guess coming off a successful defensive adjustment like that, how much confidence does that give you guys going up against Iowa State tomorrow?
I feel like that's a good thing when we change, when we can play more defensive coverage than just one. When we are first on drop, then on blitz, then in switch, it just confuses the opponent, and it's hard to adapt in that moment, in that adrenaline, when the adrenaline is in the air. So that's a big plus for us, and also having big guys who can guard their guards, and having our guards who can guard their bigs. So it's a big plus for this team, and it's one of our strengths.
Yesterday being your first March Madness experience, just did it live up to the hype, knowing just that the event is known for the chaos?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely awesome. The fans were awesome. I knew that the arena would be all blue, so shout out to BBM once again. But it was a great experience. I mean, I was hyped, but also calm from the beginning, that I wanted to win more than everything. So definitely great experience, and can't wait for the game tomorrow.
Off between games, how's it feel, and what have you guys worked on today to get ready for tomorrow?
It feels good. Obviously, moving on to the next round, you get that day in between to kind of reset, recover. So definitely was very important, because we know it's definitely going to be a huge game tomorrow, a huge battle. So they're a physical team, and we're just ready to play.
You guys may go up against an Iowa State team that's down one of their best players. Does that affect the game plan at all, and what do you expect from them?
I mean, it does, because a player like that, he definitely is very important to their team. I think he was one of the All-Americans this year, so he's having a great season. So that definitely changes up the game plan a little bit. But definitely it sucks for that injury to happen, obviously, especially at this point of the year. Obviously this is a dream for most people, and I'm just, kind of upset that he was the one that had to go down with that. No one really wants injuries at this time, or in basketball in general, but, it's all right. I hope that he gets better, and, he's got to try to do everything we can to get the win.
Lon, obviously a very streaky shooter. What did you see him film that maybe some spots you think you can take advantage with him?
I mean, like you said, he's a great shooter, great player. Definitely understands the game on a high level. So just when you say take away or stuff like that, I mean, he's an excellent shooter from deep range, especially. So trying to limit his touches as best we can, because obviously when a shooter gets the ball, they shoot the ball. It's probably feel like it's gonna go in every time. So just try to limit his touches, limit his catches, or different spots on the floor that he may like. So definitely, we're definitely paying attention to him on the game plan a lot.
How many times have you watched him take a shot?
It came up on my For You page on TikTok like 20 times maybe. I seen it a little bit on Instagram as well, but that kind of shot that he made definitely deserves to be replayed across all social media platforms. So,
how do you keep him humble? How do you not let his head get so big knowing he's like the biggest superstar of March Madness right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's not even the type of person to kind of be boastful when it comes to stuff like that. He's definitely like, next play mentality kind of dude, or next game mentality kind of dude. So, I mean, obviously in the moment he's gonna let it all, soak in and stuff. But he definitely put it in the past already. If you don't ask him about it, he's not gonna talk about it either. So I mean, he's definitely ready, because this is his last ride. He's a senior, so he definitely wants to push everyone to keep winning.
How do you navigate those highs, just knowing that was the epitome of March Madness, and then but you're like, hey, there's still games to win?
Yeah, we just need to carry that momentum that we had, that same happy feeling that we won, and carry it to the next game. We definitely go, because we're eventually gonna face some frustration in tomorrow's game. They're a great team. Basketball always doesn't go your way. If you got to choose that, if you get to choose that, you had momentum the whole game, everyone's gonna pick themselves all the time. So it's just not the way the game goes. So just try not to let the frustration kind of crowd our minds, and we need to keep playing.
Cam, to talk about Ortega and the way that he has that mentality to shift from the high to, hey, we got to focus on business tomorrow. He talked about that impact that he needs to have on this team. Do you guys feel that you guys now are shifting that mentality to take care of business in round 32?
Yeah, definitely. He's obviously our best player. He's our leader. So definitely hearing it from the leader compared to, I guess, anybody else on the team, you're gonna feel it more if it's the leader of the team. So definitely him having that mentality. Most players that do stuff like that will kind of talk about it every day for the rest of their lives, but he's not the type of person to do that. So definitely shows a lot that he cares about this team, cares about winning, and definitely just wants to keep winning as much as we can, and hopefully get our end goal, which is to win the championship.
Jefferson going down.
In a spot like that, NCAA tournament game.
Yeah, just knowing, I can, stop, 1 through 5, so just having the confidence in myself, I feel like I can voice that and get the job done.
How has that aspect of your game maybe grown over the course of this season, maybe even over the course of the last 2 years you've been here?
Yeah, just staying in the gym, working out, and your game will grow if you just do that, and just stay locked in.
And then your relationship with Coach Pope, that you feel comfortable doing that in the heat of a game, and he feels comfortable going with you. Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, that's just, building trust with your coach, having a lot of talks with him, showing them that you can actually do it, starting in practice, and then games obviously.
How were you able to play such confident defense, even with 4 fouls at the end of that second half and most of overtime as well?
Yeah, just going out there playing free, because I feel like if you worry about it too much, you go, make the mistake. So if you go out there free-minded, then you go out there, and do what it takes to get your team to win.
We heard from Malachi that, he said the coach has been talking to you guys about what Iowa State plays. You haven't played them yet, but they kind of compared it to last year's Tennessee team a little bit, the way they like to kind of get Chaz Lanier open. Just how helpful is that for you guys that did play Tennessee last year? Because you don't know Iowa State, but to kind of compare it to something you do know.
Yeah. That's a great, point that you brought up. Coach actually brought that up, and Colin was actually guarding him some last year. So it's like second nature for him, like you said. So, just playing them, last year, and them having a guy like him, I feel like it's going to help us out a lot.
Asked this before, but how do you prepare for a team that it's a coin flip whether or not their star player is playing or not?
Yeah, you got to go in the game, preparing like he is playing, because you don't want to go in, acting like he's not playing, because anything could happen. So just going in there, keeping him on the scout report, scout team, playing as him and stuff, and then having us prepared.
And I don't know if it's an advantage or a disadvantage, Brandon, but you guys played an overtime game where you were really tested. Iowa State was not really tested yesterday. Do you think that could be an advantage for you at all, or is it a disadvantage?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's an advantage. I just feel like, they tested us, and we responded. But I wouldn't look at it in that point. So.
After you watched the film back, with your coach, what did he say to you about the leadership role you took and those defensive adjustments late in the game?
Yeah. He always believed in me. He felt like, me and Malachi got the best feet, as a big. So, he trusted us from the jump. It wasn't nothing new, I should say. And, I just got the stops that we needed to get the win.
How many times have you watched him take a shot?
A lot, actually. We was in the room yesterday just chilling, and just playing it back. It's everywhere now, so it's hard to miss.
How do you not let his head get so big, knowing he's like the biggest star of March Madness right now?
I feel like he been through that, throughout years of college basketball. So it's like second nature to him, So luckily he been through that, so his head's not gonna be too big.
Is there a moment these days? But sorry, Brandon. Did you see your coach's reaction, like ISOs of him on the sideline as he saw the Santa Clara shot went in and the Oweh shot went in?
I didn't see his reaction really, but yeah.
It's been going around social media. If you feel like looking it up.
If Ortega, if he didn't make that shot and Kentucky still had won, the moment of the game probably would have been your dunk. Do you kind of feel like there's like a level of jealousy, like, man, my highlight didn't get as much play as it probably should?
I wouldn't say I was jealous about it because I feel like mine still got love, but he kept us alive, so his should be out there way more than mine. So
where does that dunk stack up for you in terms of all-time moments, knowing you did it in March Madness?
Yeah, on top for sure, just because I did it on the biggest stage actually. So yeah.
I heard you talk about Clara, just your relationship and all that. I know you kind of went on social media official, so it's kind of like, how did that all start up?
I just met her in the summer. Thought she was cool, so it was happening.
In terms of having somebody to lean on during the season and you guys being as close as you are, and with from the competitive side of her doing her games and her supporting you and yours, how has that dynamic been?
It's been great. It's been cool this year. Just being able to support each other, one another, doing what we love to do, which is play basketball, and then just having us being successful and just trying to do the best we can for our team. It's something amazing, and going forward is something amazing.
How much time do you guys spend on the court together, like getting shots up, or is it kind of like, hey, we want to tune that stuff out and focus on all the non-basketball stuff?
Yeah, we kind of just hang out, chill, watch shows and stuff. We don't really do too much basketball. We kind of be busy with our own basketball stuff, so it's really just hanging out outside of basketball.
What's been your advice to her as she prepares for her NCAA tournament run?
I've just been telling her to go do what she does. She's always killing it, always doing great. So I'm proud of her, happy for her, and just go do what you do and just go have fun.
And her advice to you is you're doing yours?
Same thing, vice versa.
Just in terms of the matchup with Iowa State, just what do you know? What's jumped out on film for you?
Yeah, they're a great physical team. They got a great coach, great group of guys. They come out and play hard, play very scrappy. We just got to be prepared, be more physical. We got to rebound. Santa Clara kind of got us on the rebounding glass last game, so we got to be able to prepare for them and rebound, hit first.
With Jefferson just kind of not knowing if he's in or out, how do you prepare for something like that?
We just got to be prepared for him to play. Like I said, it's a big-time game, so we wouldn't be shocked if he did. But either or, we still got to be ready and still got to compete.
Being in this spot where, for some that haven't been to the second week and that haven't been to Final Four, like, this feels, normal to you that might not be normal to them. Just what's your advice to some of the guys that right now that this is their first NCAA tournament game?
Yeah, just being in the moment, just taking it possession by possession, just trying to let them know that every possession matters, including myself. Just trying to go out there and be an example and go hard and fight hard each and every possession. So I know we kind of got punked on the glass last game, so just trying to fix that and just watching film, seeing what we can do better to improve each game.
In terms of Ortega's shot yesterday, where does that stack up for you in terms of all-time March Madness moments, knowing that you just, you have a championship ring and it's tough to beat that?
I definitely named it top 2. I don't know where I want to rank it yet, but that was a crazy shot. I'm proud of him, super proud of him. Like I said, he's been going 110% each and every day in practice and games. He's been doing what he's doing for us. He's just a winner, so I'm not shocked at all it went in, and I'm just glad that we moved in advance, so we're trying to take it game by game by now.
How many times have you watched it?
It's been all over my feed, so probably hundreds of times.
How do you not let his head get so big and you know, say, I know you're the biggest superstar of March Madness right now, but we got more games than we.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think he's focused on that. He's just focused on the next game and trying to win versus Iowa State. So I'm not too worried about him. And as far as all of us as well, we got to be ready as well. So,
man, thank you.